2. So when you're adding and subtracting fractions, you must have adding and subtracting fractions. Do you remember what you're supposed to have? Least common denominator. So what is the least common denominator for 3 and 6? It has to be a number they both can go into. Can 6 go into 3? So 6 is the common denominator. Actually, I'm just going to do it right next to this. Right next to it. 6. Do I have to change this fraction? No, this one already has a 6, so I don't have to change that fraction. So we're just making a 6 next to this one. How does 3 go to 6? What do I do to 3 to get to 6? Times 2. And whatever I do to the denominator, I've got to do the same thing to the numerator. I've got to multiply by 2 on both of them. And 1 times 2 is 2. So now we're looking at 2, 6 plus 5, 6. That one already had the common denominator. I didn't need to change it. Least common denominator. Change the numerator and denominator by blank by the same number. Change the numerator and the denominator by blank by the same number. What do we do? By the same number. What do we do? We multiplied by the same number. 2 over 2, right? So multiply. What is 2, 6 plus 5, 6? 7, 6. You can leave it just like that. 7, 6. We're allowed to leave improper fractions. We're going to talk next week about mixed numbers and improper fractions, but it has to be reduced. So if I had something like 8 over 6, that would not be reduced because a 2 can be divided out from both of them. Okay, so it has to be reduced, but it can stay improper. Over here it says add the numerators and keep the denominator. So that's what we did. We added 2 plus 5, but we kept the denominator of 6. And then simplify if possible. We've been doing subtracting fractions. So we need to have the least common denominator again. What's the least common denominator for 3 and 8? And so you can do multiples of the number, 8, 16, 24, 32. You do multiples of the bigger number until you see something the smaller number can go in as well. And if I did my 3's out, I would see that 24 was that common denominator. 24, 24. And then we just have to adjust our numerators. How do I go from 3 to 24? Times 8. And whatever I do to the denominator, I do the same thing with the numerator. Times 8. We get 16. Go ahead and just adjust your second fraction. Let's see what you're going to get on this other side. Going to multiply by 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So 3 times 3 is 9. We're looking at 16 24ths minus 9 24ths. I don't expect you to rewrite it like this on your homework. It's fine if you just do it on the side and do the math, but these are your notes. You want to be able to really understand what's going on in your notes. What is 16 minus 9? So that would be 7, and keep your same denominator, 7 24ths. All right, we are working on number 1, 3/4 and 2/5. 3/4 plus 2/5. Find your common denominator. 4 times 5 is 20, so 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20, so 2 times 4 is 8. And I do accept all your work on paper. You don't have to do it on Cam anymore. You'll be much faster if you just do it on the paper. I have it sitting here. I'll correct it in a couple days. It'll sit there again until you come back, and we'll be good.
All we have to do is
No, if you hand it to me on paper,
oh,
right? 15 20ths plus 8 20ths. We know our common denominator is 20. What is 15 plus 8? 15 plus 5 is 20 plus 3 more. 23. Try to use compatible numbers. 15 and 5 more. That's how I think about it. And then there's 3 left. That'll easily get you to your number. So we have 23 20ths. Let's look at number 5. 1 plus 3/7. Do I have to find a common denominator for this? Or can I logically think about this problem? I'm in the kitchen making a cake by scratch. I add 1 cup of milk and then I add 3/7 cup of milk. How much milk did I add altogether? So you could just write that you added 1 3/7. 1 3/7. All right, let's do number 7. 4/5 plus 9/7. We're looking for a common denominator for 7 and 5. 35. Adjust your numerators. 5 times 7, so 4 times 7. Four times 7 is 28, so we have 28. 35ths. 9 times 5 is 45. 35ths. $28 plus 45. Count by tens. 45. 55. 65 is 20. 65 plus 5 more is 70, and there's 3 left. Question is, can 73 35ths be reduced? What kind of numbers can go into 35? 5. Our divisibility rules say 5 can go into that. Well, that's not compatible with 73. So that's it. If 5 can't go into this number, how about 35? Can 35 go into 70 evenly? What's 35 plus 35? 30 and 30, 70. So we see that it doesn't go in evenly, so that is reduced. Just make sure you circle or put a box around your answers. All I do is look at your answers. If you get your answers wrong, then I go and look to see if I can give you any partial credit for your work. Let's do number 15. 4 minus 13/7. Not as easy. Whoops. Not as easy as the adding problem with a whole number. We're doing all of them. You have 2 homework assignments this week. Your 2 homework assignments are homework 1, you flip it over, homework 2 is on the other side. That's your assignments for this week. Yay, you're guessing, you're stepping outside your box. Excellent. You're taking a chance. What do you got, Asher?
-4.
Nice try, buddy. That is a nice try. Now, you bring me to a very good question. If I look at the signs on these, are these the same signs or different signs? They're different signs. Do we add them up when they're different signs? No. If I would have had -4, -13/7, then I could have done what you said and said it's -4 and 13/7 because you'd add them up, right? These were 2 positive numbers, so we just added them up. We could technically add up 2 negative numbers, but those are not the same sign, so we can't do that. Nice try.
How about 51%?
Well, I don't care what you got. I want to know how you did it.
I put a 1. I made that a 4 into 4.
Stop right there. He went like this. Now, do you know where you're going to go with this problem?
Right.
And I made left one the same as like the right one I made times 7 and times 7.
So your common denominator was 7. You don't have to change that one.
Then I got 28 with 7 and 7 minus 7.
Now, I appreciate you telling me how to do the problem. Thank you very much. The answer don't mean very much if I can't get it myself. 28 minus 13, we know our final answer has a 7. 13, 23, and 5 more. It'd be 15/7. And it's reduced. Next week, you can expect a lot of fractions that are not reduced. This week, we're just kind of getting used to adding. It's the hardest part. Multiplying and dividing. Cinch.
At the end of this, you want me to reduce it?
No. Well, if you mean improper, changing it to a mixed number?
No, I didn't.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. There is one on there that has to be reduced.
17.
Yeah. You guys have the rest of the period to get